Okay, we're live again. And so, again, my name is Anto Chávez with Be Latina News. And today we are bringing you all another IG Live as part of our series with queer Black filmmakers who are creating amazing media and just amazing content. Throughout February, we'll be discussing some of Revry's Black History Month programming and featuring the content creator themselves. This time we're talking to Dafina Roberts, the writer, executive producer, and director of Giving Me Life in the Land of Deadass, which is a really, really cool TV series that they will be telling us more about. And I can't wait to hear what they have to say. So let's get this conversation started. Let me check that she is in the live and that she's able to join. Hey, how are you?
Good. I'm just gonna fix my camera right.
Yeah, no worries. I was having some connection issues as well.
I thought I could get away with it, but I think it's not. I think that works.
Perfect. How's it going? Where are you right now?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Wait, did you say where am I?
Yeah.
Oh, New York.
Cool. And how are you too?
I'm doing really, really, really good. I mean, like the weather is crazy and we have a pandemic and like all the things, and it feels like we're in the middle of Armageddon, but
Yeah.
to be honest with you, I'm doing really good.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Sorry?
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. I'm in Tucson, Arizona, so it's a little chilly, but it's sunny. The weather is nice here, thankfully, But yeah, the world is crazy. I mean, I'm just grateful to be alive and just taking one day at a time for sure.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
I'm here. Woohoo! Like,
Yes.
it's a part.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to talk to you, Dafina. I'm actually a really big fan of this series, so I'm super excited to talk to you about it and about your career as well. So if we can start with a little intro and just letting everybody know who you are and what you do, basically, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Afro Latina writer, director, producer. My my mother's people in Mexico, Colombia, and Venezuela. And then my father was born in Guyana, but in Trinidad. So I'm a few different things. But if you're in New York, you're kind of do like all coming together into one. But like I said, director, producer. Is my audio coming in okay?
Your audio is cutting off a little bit. I can totally understand what you're saying, but every like a few words, it cuts a little bit.
Okay. Technology is fun. All right,
I know.
let me see if I put my headset in.
Is this better? Or is
Can
this
you talk again? Sorry?
is this better?
Yeah. I think it's better.
Okay, cool. Um, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yes,
Gotcha.
writer, director, producer of Giving Me Life in the Land of the Deadass. Giving Me Life is about six Black and Latinx friends of different sexualities looking for love and work in New York City. The reason that we called it Giving Me Life is obviously giving me life means to like anything that finds you can find joy in. And then the Land of the Deadass obviously is New York, because in New York we say dead ass a lot, and so dead ass means like so serious.
Yeah.
So together that means like trying to find joy in a land that is can be serious and harsh. So
Cool.
that's the series. And then in terms of like where the series kind of came up from, we did the festival circuit. We won the AT&T Audience Award for Best Episodic at Frameline's LGBTQ festival, which is one of the biggest LGBTQ festivals in all the United States.
Yeah.
And then now we're
Awesome.
here in Revry. So we're really, really excited about that. But prior to that, I was a Kickstarter creator in residence. Kickstarter had a program where they supported just creators, and that's where a lot of the production on Giving Me Life took place, as well as they helped me learn how to crowdfund because I didn't really know a lot about that, and so they helped me with that so we could actually get the project finished. Before that, I worked at, I was a development executive at Nickelodeon, where I worked on scripted and unscripted projects, including the channel's first English language telenovela called Every Which Way. And then before that, I was a co-producer on a film that was like an urban coming-of-age film called Punching at the Sun. I went to Tribeca and Sundance. So, you know, for me, I've always been super attracted to like coming of age stories, stories about people of color, and wanting to tell those stories. So that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a very long journey to Giving Me Life, right? And lots of experience and kind of a lot of learning too, I'm sure. And so what motivated you to create the show, and how long ago did you start writing it?
So what motivated me was uh, it's really about me and my friends, like
Okay.
how we were like coming up in New York, wilding out, having a good time, literally living our fullest life. Um, it happened. I first wrote it as a short film, and I forgot about it because I write a lot. And then a friend of mine, we went to dinner, and he gave me the script. And he's like, "Oh, do you remember this?" And I was like, "This thing looks familiar." I was like, "Wait, that's my script." He's like, "I think you should make it into a web series." And I was like, "You really think so?" He's like, "Yeah, I think it has a lot of like fun characters that people can invest in." So I started to rewrite it for that. So
Wow, that's interesting.
yeah, it was great. Like I owe it to him actually. Like I'm like, you're the one who told me to go ahead with it. So
Yeah.
that's ultimately what happened. But yeah, I just wanted to tell stories about me and my friends because I still don't see it on TV.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, obviously it's fiction, but it's informed kind of by your life and your friend's life. Aside from that, do you think your background influenced the show at all? How, especially because it was a short film first, right? So, like, when you were thinking about or visualizing this as a web series, did any of your background, personal experience, aside from like the actual activities and things that your friends and you were doing, influence how you were writing it?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, so much is based on my actual life. Like for instance, um, so one of the characters named Travis, he is a Black Christian, and he's a Black gay Christian. And when I was writing that storyline, I was in a writers group, and some people were like, "Oh, well, I don't know if he could be a gay Christian. I think the story needs to be about him being a gay Christian. I think that like he, like that it needs to be about like the homophobia that he experiences in the church." And I was like, that story has already been told. Like
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of like slave narratives. Like we get it, like we understand and we appreciate it, but we want to hear other stories. And there are a lot of people who are gay Christians who are living their fullest life. They have their spirituality and they're on a journey. There's life after you come out. And I felt like it was important to tell those kinds of stories. And also, I think there's stereotypes. That people have stereotypes about gay people, and the people have stereotypes about Christians too. And this is actually based on my mother, who's a gay Christian, goes to church every single Sunday. She goes to a gay church, and I just felt like that story is not anywhere in the media, even though it's just fact. So that's an example, but there's so many examples of me just feeling like I just need to talk about my reality because it's the reality of so many other people.
Yeah, definitely. And why do you think, talking about these realities and just showing the kind of representation that Giving Me Life has is important, like having that on screen?
Yeah, no, it's so important because, like, for instance, there's another, like, all the friends are together, and the way that the story is structured or the series is structured, each episode is kind of run by one friend at a time. So we get to kind of see into their life as they share, their friendships with this group of friends. And so we have one story about this guy named Cam who he's this like straight Latino guy, that he's a sweet guy, but he has more like drama than like a telenovela because he attracts women he likes women who are very like, you know, they're like alpha women, you know what I mean? He likes that. He's more, I guess, of a quote unquote beta. Anyway, the stereotype is usually with Latino men is that they're womanizers, or this, or they're and the third. In his situation, he's not. But the person he's dating, the woman he's dating, thinks that he is. And so this is kind of like a play on like this trope about what people think people are and how, you know, those scenarios are often not true. And so I just feel like it's important because we see people like that in our everyday life, right? We're friends with people who are like that, but we never get to see them portrayed. So that's where it comes from, just wanting to speak to reality.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. It's basically like breaking a lot of stereotypes, even within queer and POC and Black communities, and that's really really cool. And so something that I was also very interested in, I always ask guests when they're creators, is what is one thing that you want people to take from your show? You know, it's obviously very intersectional, and we learn and we watch so many topics and that are explored through 6 different characters. But if there's one thing that you want people to get from it, or that you want to communicate, what would that be?
I feel like it's in the title of the show, you know, that the way that you find joy, the way you find happiness in a world that sometimes feels cold, is through like love and friendship. You know, that's really what will keep you warm in these cold winter streets. You know, is that so? You know, that's what happens. Like I have another character. Her name is Jess. She's a femme stud, Latina femme stud, and you know, she kind of moves to her own drum. You know, she's crazy, and I really love her, and I feel like, you know, she's a perfect example of somebody who is out there living her life. In the episode, she goes to a weed spot with all the friends, and things go really really left. But like through that journey, you know, it's them coming together to kind of help each other out in this really kind of crazy situation that ultimately helps them get through. So that's really like the theme of it. But it's done with a lot of fun. There's a lot of shenanigans. And so that's, you know, you have that joy and you also have fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Especially now, I feel like that's what a lot of us need, like during such crazy times, and this kind of pandemic and this kind of weather and climate change and everything that's going on around us. You know, those shows that bring you joy are so essential to your survival and like your mental health. So I love that piece of the web series. And go ahead. Sorry.
And I was just saying, like, I just felt like I wanted comfort food over the weekend. So I literally just went to like an OG, like sitcom, The Golden Girls. I was just watching it and I was like, yes. I was like, it's just like, you're watching this, they're off the hook. They're just trying to live their lives. But like when they come together, you know, you're like, you just love it. And every time you hear that theme song, you're like, yes, thank you for being a friend.
Yeah.
Like that's the vibe. So
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally. And it's even better because there's a lot of people who, you know, have been trying to get this joyful and like type of shows that will bring them, you know, happiness, but also see themselves on the screen and like see their representation and see what they go through and what their family members or their chosen family go through. So that's, you know, everything. That's huge for our community. So I love it.
Yeah, exactly. Chosen family.
Yeah. And another really important question is when, if it is coming at all, season 2, and if have you started filming? Are you planning on doing that? And if so, how does that process look like?
So yeah, people have been asking right now. To be completely honest, like it's on the docket. It's there. But I'm working on a feature film right now that I'm writing. That I have some good momentum behind. So as soon as I'm done with that, I will be working on the next season of Giving Me Life. So it's just I
Okay.
have a few projects going on, and it's all good stuff. And we actually have a lot of interest from our distributor, you know, for a second season. So
Nice.
there, all the good stuff is definitely there. I just need to get to writing it.
Yeah. And so, what's this other feature film that you're working on? Can you tell us, or not yet?
I guess I can say that it is. We're going to be shooting in Ghana.
Okay.
So it's a film that will be taking place in Ghana, West Africa.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. Awesome. And with all of your experience, I would also really love to know, you know, what kind of advice for everybody watching now and later, because this video, this interview will live in our page. What kind of advice would you give to a Black, queer, and Afro-Latinx youth who really want to be part of the industry, you know, whether that is producing, directing, acting, or all of the above, and they just feel like there's not a seat at the table, or they're not sure about going in? What would you tell them?
It's something that I learned through like a mentorship program. They called it VIP. So the first thing is value, which is like building up your value. So if you want to be a producer, learn how to actually produce. You know, it's a very particular kind of skill. Same thing with directing, same thing with writing. The I stands for image, as in meaning like if you want to do dramas, like people need to know that that's the kind of work that you want to do. If you're not putting that kind of content out, there's no way for people to know it. Or if you're kind of secretly keeping it inside that you want to be a director, but you've been acting as like a production coordinator, like no one will know. People have to know what you want to do in order to support you. And then the key part is for people, and making sure that you're making the right contacts. And a huge part of that has to do with peer mentorship, because we all come up together. You know, we all support each other, and that's how we win. And I think a lot of times people want to talk to people who are like, you know, like 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead of them. But it's actually the people who are your peers, who actually have the same vision of the world as you. Those are going to be the people who are going to help you come up. And that's just a fact. You know, that's what's happening with me. So if you do all those 3 things, then you're like in a position to really get where you need to go. But if you only do one, like if you're only about your image, that's like a third of the pie, right?
Yeah.
If you kind of, you know, are able to kind of hit all those marks, you'll be in a good position. So that's what I would recommend.
Thank you so much, Dafina. I really appreciate that. And I'm sure, you know, a lot of people watching will love that you share that with them, and it will help them throughout their career, their upbringing. So I really appreciate your time today, and coming here and telling us about your journey and the show. Where can people follow your work and also watch the series? Can you tell us about that?
So yeah, you can follow me on The Mighty Drove on Instagram. It's an easy way to do it. You can follow the GML series at GML series on Instagram, and then you can catch the show on Revry TV. So please check us out. We love your support and love the comments and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, cool, awesome. Are there any other projects you want to share with everybody? Or are there a little bit of secret projects right now?
That's a secret project, and then I have another secret project that I'm working on that's going to star an Afro-Latina who is a scientist. It's a sci-fi film. So those are the 2 projects that are in development, in addition to Giving Me Life. So all of it's really, really good stuff, and I'm really, really, really excited about it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Please, everybody, be on the lookout for those projects. And of course, Giving Me Life season 1. And whenever season 2 is up and running, please go and watch. But so far, Revry's will be playing season 1. And so please check it out. It's such a cool show. I definitely binge watched it. And the episodes are pretty short, so you can do it in 1-2 days. And so, yeah, and follow Dafina for more work updates. So Thank you so much for coming here and appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, our platform is always welcome to you.
Trust me, I will be contacting you when the next project comes out.
Yay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.